Assalamu alaikum guys, and welcome to another episode of Smile to Jannah. They say give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. This campaign will empower Gambian children with education and will be an ongoing charity for you for as long as they benefit from that education that you help them to receive. So let's get a share in this reward, link in the description. So we know a few days ago it was Eid ul-Adha, the second Muslim celebration, the Eid festival, which is marked by, of course, the Hajj pilgrimage and also the sacrificing of an animal whose meat is then given and spread amongst family, friends, and of course the poor. However, in India, because of their rising Hindu extremism, we're seeing anything that's linked to Muslims and Islam becomes an issue, and this was no exception. So as you can see from this headline and article, there was violence, and this violence, you had extreme Hindus going around with knives, stabbing people, damaging shops, mosques, and before you say, oh, it's the Muslims, oh no, churches were also being damaged. According to this article, 2 priests were injured as well. Because, like I've said before, hate does not discriminate. It's not just a Muslim thing, it's anything other than a Hindu thing in India, because this mentality is being given a lot of oxygen by the current ruling BJP party there. So all of this was because allegedly a cow was slaughtered in a mosque. This hasn't been confirmed, by the way, and there is a group called Cow Protectors, which is very ironic because what we're going to discuss now, India is not in need of cow protectors, they're in need of human protectors. Oh yes, indeed. Because the problem in India is not necessarily cows being sacrificed, it's human beings. Oh yes, human beings being sacrificed. But before I get into that, I think this meme summarizes what I'm about to say really well. About 1 billion animals are killed each year by KFC, McDonald's, Burger King, etc. to feed the rich and make money, and no one bats an eye. During Eid, Muslims sacrifice them to feed the poor for free, and everyone loses their minds. And before we get into the Hindu rituals, I just want to give you one ritual of the Jewish community, and that is something called kaparot. And during kaparot, chickens are swung around a person's head because they believe that sins transfer from the person into the chicken, and then it's either slaughtered or, as you can tell from this article, it's chucked in the trash. I'd love to hear one of these Hindu bhakts, not every Hindu, of course, the people that are engaged in this. Then will you be speaking out against, this practice of the Jews, or is it, against your interest because of what's going on over there in Palestine? And before you start thinking, what evidence does he have? I'll give you evidence from your own newspapers, yeah? Look, here's an evidence. A family sacrificed their own son. Oh yes, indeed. Have a look. Their own son. And this was not just a one-off. Here, a Guardian article of a woman being sacrificed in a temple, and not to mention a 4-year-old boy who was sacrificed in the name of the goddess Kali. And let's have a look at Kali. Yes, indeed. We're told in Islam not to insult other people's gods, so I'm not going to. I will let you make up your own mind about the image that you are currently seeing. In fact, there is a statistic to say from 2014 to 2021, there were 103 human sacrifices that were reported and documented in India. Many have gone undocumented. In fact, the ironic videos that have been circulating on X are showing Hindu religious folk doing multiple things with animals. One such video was them having killed a goat and pouring their blood over this idol. What is the point of that? Can you explain? Here is another clip, and naturally I won't be able to show you them. I can put the links in the description for you to check. Here is somebody biting the head of a live goat. Oh yes, a live goat in front of people, and it's a long grueling clip where you can see it taking place. Damn! Another one, biting the head of a pigeon. And you might be thinking these are one-offs. What are you talking about? There are loads of these clips online, and if you search a number of groups, in fact, let me name you a few. There's something called the Diodani festival in Assam, in India, where the priestess bites the head of a pigeon. Yes, a live pigeon. Then what do? Some will drink the raw blood of this pigeon, and some will just smear it on their face. Yes, lovely folks. Then you have something which is an outdated tradition called the Kapalika tradition. If I mention some of the stuff, the use of animal skulls, human sacrifice, smearing ashes from cremation, offerings of sexual fluid and sexual, I don't even want to get into this just in case you're watching this with your family, but you might rightly say this is, stuff that used to happen, but no, this has now manifested in a tribe called the Agori tribe. And in fact, there was a CNN documentary done on this, and by somebody called Reza Aslan, who there was a clip in which, to ingratiate himself with the Agori tribe, he was eating the human brains of God knows which poor guy it was, and then those clips had to be taken down, but you can probably find clips here and there. And there are others as well, other groups, but they are all part of something called the Vamachara, or known to the European countries as left-handed tantric paths. In other words, these are deliberately non-orthodox things. So if, for example, in mainstream Hinduism, you don't eat meat, these guys will eat meat. You don't go to the graveyard and do weird stuff, that these guys will go and do that stuff. In fact, RAPE is something that they have been accused of, especially with minors as well. So a lot of mad stuff going on. But how does this affect us over here? Well, there was a 19th century occultist called Madame Blavatsky who went there and visited a lot of these left-handed tantric priests and priestesses, and she was inspired by them, and she came and she was doing madness here in Europe as well, to such a degree that she inspired many cults, mostly white supremacist cults as well. So this is something that she brought over here in the West. So what is the whole point of me giving these examples? These examples are to suggest, to evidence and prove that there are much worse practices taking place that go against the conception of most people watching. However, they will be buried under the carpet. When it comes to Muslims, look, KFCs, McDonald's kill these animals to be sold people so they can line the pockets of the rich and the wealthy. But Muslims, we do this humanely. There is something called the dhabiha. Drinking blood is forbidden in Islam. Harming the animals is forbidden. There are certain ways in which we sacrifice animals according to the halal method. So all of this stuff would be non-conceivable amongst the scriptures of Islam. But it just goes to show, certain people will highlight certain stuff. No problem, I'm here to highlight the other stuff as well. So we have a broader picture, so you can really be informed as to which does make sense and is from God, and which does not make sense and is cognizant of demonic and satanic practices. Let's leave it there, guys. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.